Hello everyone, That Manga Kid here to do a series review on House of Five Leaves by Natsume Ono. This is a Viz signature release in their really nice glossy French flap. This is a really beautiful quality book. It does, in the first volume, have a few color pages in this really nice kind of muted tone. If you're not familiar with Natsume Ono, I highly suggest you pick up some of her works. They are absolutely wonderful, and House of Five Leaves is no exception. This is one of her longer series. She typically, at least the stuff that gets released here, is shorter. They're like one-shots or short story collections, whereas House of Five Leaves is an 8-volume series. This is about a Ronin. On the cover here, he is a masterless samurai. He goes around and his name's Akitsu. He's very shy, kind of reserved, and that's why he can't get a job as a bodyguard, because nobody wants a shy, reserved person guarding them. People believe him to be kind of inept and not able to do his job because he's very quiet and doesn't seem very confrontational really at all. So he basically meets this guy here, who I believe his name is Yaichi, that's his name. He meets Yaichi, who hires him as a bodyguard, and it turns out that Yaichi works for this organization called the House of the Five Leaves, which they're criminals. And so he gets kind of mixed up in this band of shady folks, and doesn't really know what to do about it, because he finds himself really enjoying their company and really enjoying being around them, but is struggling with his own feelings of guilt and his own sense of morals about what is going on with this group of people, and how he's now involved in it all. Through and through, I think this is a story about friendship and making friends and finding friends, honestly, because this is a group of people. It's a small, tight-knit group that are all committing these crimes together, and while claiming to not be invested in each other, but you get to see them all interact with each other in different ways, and with this new addition of Akitsu, who kind of shakes things up a little bit and, brings them in some ways closer together and in other ways farther apart. There is some fighting in this series because of the nature of the time period and what's going on, but it's not an action series by any means. If you know Natsume Ono, you know that her stories are very quiet and tranquil and slice of life-esque and very peaceful almost, even when they're dealing with heavy subjects. The art is very much Natsume Ono art. It's very distinct, really simple but pretty. Characters have a very specific look to them. It's just really gorgeous. I love Natsume Ono's art style. It's very different, and you can tell immediately that it's her when you see her series. Yeah, it's quite lovely. And all the little chapter, like the start of the chapter pages, really nice art. I just absolutely love it. This is one of my favorite series, honestly, especially by Natsume Ono. I watched the anime years ago and meant to pick up the anime or the manga, and just finally got around to it last year, and then read it in one sitting, because it's such a beautiful story, and it's absolutely one I will read again and again, because it is so. Natsume Ono just has this way of telling stories that blows my mind every time. It's hard to explain, because it's so quiet and peaceful while still dealing with such heavy topics, but it flows so nicely. The conversation, the dialogue, and the way the characters interact is so genuine, and really, it just kind of like pulls at your heartstrings. You care about these characters, you want to know more. The series has a lot of mysterious people in it, and you just want to know what's going on, why this is happening, who's behind it, like what is the reason for it all. and it's so captivating, and it from start to finish is just this really beautiful ride that this story takes you on, and I highly recommend House of Five Leaves. Um, if you've never read anything by Natsume Ono, just like absolutely pick something up by her because they're such wonderful stories. And this one is kind of unique to her stuff because it actually takes place in Japan. Most of her stories don't. A lot of them take place in Italy, some of them in the United States or Australia. But yeah, a lot of her stuff is kind of Italy centric. So it is nice to get something that is actually taking place in Japan and interesting and different in that way, from her at least. So yeah, this is a wonderful series. Definitely pick it up. If you've read this or have any questions, comments, or anything like that, definitely leave them down below in the comments section. I'd love to chat about House of Five Leaves. Thank you for watching. See ya.